And now for your listening pleasure, straight out of Milwaukee, the least talked about podcast in Wisconsin, Hip or Critical, with your guides, Alexa MKE and MoKE, Shock the MoKE, MOKE, where we praise and vent on all things that really, in the end,
Just
just don't
don't matter.
matter. All right, we're going to take today and we're actually going to talk about things that didn't matter over our fast 50 shows. Well, no, we're doing the first 25 shows, right?
Well,
Or did
no,
you go through
it's
all 50?
no, we didn't go through all 50, but we cherry picked some things. Yeah, so we took a short break at one point, then a hiatus, and we're back. And we did it, everybody. We're here at our 50th episode. Isn't that
Our
cool?
50th episode. All right. Some of them are lost in the Google sphere, the originals.
Yeah, we have some lost in the Google sphere, but
So
we're
if any of you taped those for us
back in the day.
back in the day,
when we
pirated
were
them
when we were
so you could
using
listen
Google
to them later.
Hangouts. Yeah. So we kind of go through that. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna actually do our bubbles, which I don't have up. Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties. There we go. Bubbles. Okay. So Dave, initial some of our early episodes, we talked about movies and TV and all that good stuff, which we always do. Movies, food, and movies and fest. So my. So how about What We Do in the Shadows? One of your favorites or not?
I actually tried to start watching that, but it's on Hulu, and Hulu wasn't connecting very well and was frustrating. So I got to go back to see if I can start watching it better. But I saw like the first episode, and I
No,
very
I'm talking
slow
about the
paced.
movie, not the
Funny.
TV show.
Oh well, I thought
There
it
was
was a
a
TV
movie
show.
first. No, there's a
Oh,
movie first. Yeah. So
I
apparently
guess
you
I'll have
didn't
to
watch
look
the
at for
movie,
that.
but I did. It
No.
was good. Okay. Suicide Squad. We're gonna go through these really quick because we've got other things to talk about. Suicide Squad, hit or miss.
Well, again, that was I enjoyed Suicide Squad. We talked about the development of the characters took over too much time, and then I later talked about how I needed the development of characters, never not knowing what you liked. But I did like it more than Bird of Prey, her standalone.
Okay, cool. I was kind of torn on Suicide Squad. I did not like Cara Delevingne as the bad whatever she was. I don't know what you
Whatever.
call that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Batman
mutant
versus
witch.
Superman.
Well, that was great. I still like that.
Yeah, there was some very iconic scenes in that. And then, of course, we had Fantastic Beasts that came out that we talked about.
Yeah, which was great because that also brought into the other one, the remake. I mean, the sequel now,
Yeah.
and now Johnny Depp. They're actually going to kick out of the next one.
And that's okay, because I didn't like him in that anyway. So,
Nah, I did.
Star Wars Universe, Rogue One.
Still the best freaking Star Wars movie of them all. Best one. There,
I really liked Rogue One, and
yeah.
yeah. So, and then we go to some of the Marvel Universe. We had Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther. These were a couple of them were mentioned very early on. Black Panther a little later on.
We got Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to come out back. I was working on again. I
Yeah,
love those movies. I think
yeah,
they are the best movies. It's hard to get even
yeah.
better than the regular Marvels, but I do think they're because I love Pratt. I don't know. I just love Pratt.
Well, and Roger's favorite Marvel movie is Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. So,
Yeah, it's got great stuff. The button pushing thing. Did you ask everybody about the tape? Did
right,
you
right.
ask her? Well, she was sitting right there. That's just so
Yeah,
real.
yeah. And the way James Gunn mixed in that vintage music, which I would normally not listen to, if it came on, but it's not something I'm going to seek out, and turn on in
Right.
my playlist, but it works for those movies so well.
Oh,
So
that's funny. They
yeah,
have a nice day CD collection. It's like 10 discs, or I forget what it was, seven or something like that. With a shade carpet smile on it. Oh, I had that.
oh
Have a nice
yeah,
day. Yeah. The
yeah,
collection, that's all that 70s stuff. Love it. AM
yeah.
radio.
Yep. And then, of course, the John Wick movies, which I think are some of the best action
Great gun porn.
movies.
Yeah. Great,
Oh,
great, great. I haven't
Yeah.
seen the third one yet. There's three out now, right?
There's three out there. They've got the fourth one. I think they're working on it or they have it almost done. I am so excited for this universe because it was such a different take on an action film. You had, you know, this guy who was retired from this weird secret society. And it was funny because The Simpsons had on the Mo Sizlak episode this last Sunday that kind of parodies John Wick, and it was just fun to watch. So,
Oh, shoot, I'll have to look that up too. I'm
yeah,
usually,
yeah.
I've been getting off of Simpsons just so I have some to watch later in life, that I haven't seen.
Because you know they're going to be on repeat. Yeah.
Right.
So some of
And John Wick, I wish he would redo more Constantines. I think that it had needed some
I
more.
think they were talking about doing another Constantine. So that would be cool too. Yeah. I guess everybody just loves Keanu Reeves. You know, he's a man crush for some guys, and he's a crush for us girls. So
Yeah. Boy, it's really funny, you see him in like Nick Cage or something like that. Nick Cage is just, I don't know how many bad movies I've seen his face show up on when you're looking at all the platforms and there's movies new to this, new to that. It's got Nick Cage's face on it. It's
well,
just
that's
hilarious.
because Nick Cage, his was it his brother, but his manager, whoever was managing him at the time, stole all his money, so he
Well,
had
no,
to
he didn't
go.
pay any taxes too, is what I remember. Is he
Yeah,
didn't pay taxes,
but
and so he had to
he
do all this to work off taxes.
he was terribly mismanaged, and maybe he's a good guy, but definitely didn't have any business sense. So yeah, he ended up being cash poor, and so that's the way you do it: is you just sign up for all these movies.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So what we watched on Amazon, we watched The Boys, which both of us hated so much. Oh my
Yeah.
god, The Boys was so
That
much
was that
fun.
was just opened it up to all the great ones that are now coming after it. Like the Invincible is just like I said, an animated version of the boys. It's
Yeah, and I haven't seen that yet, and it's like I looked it up. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. And then my favorite was The Expanse. Um,
right, which we
you
only got
know,
one more season of that now, right?
Yeah, and that moved over because that was on Sci-Fi originally, and
Sci-fi.
moved over to Amazon. So I'm pretty excited because Amazon threw a lot of money at that, and so and Man in the High Castle, which I started, you finished.
Yes, and it's like I watched the whole freaking show for that last season, and the last season gave me more to hope for moving forward than the whole shows did. I was like, no, no, I want what comes next. No, no, don't do this to me.
See, now I have to finish watching it. It was just I was kind of like at the beginning of COVID when I started watching it. It was like it's a little dark, and I'm trying not to watch dark stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So then we have Disney, WandaVision.
Yeah, we were hyped, ready for that.
Did you like WandaVision at the end of the day?
Yes, I did. Because it's different. People, I don't know. When you can surprise me, when you can keep me interested, because I don't know where the story's going, and I think that they did a lot with that, and I don't think they did it haphazardly. I think they did it in a great way. And the
Yeah.
darkness of it, love the darkness at the end. That's how the British do it. We talked about that. Everybody dies in Britain for British movies, and I enjoy that
Or
sometimes.
Game of Thrones. I wasn't as hyped about WandaVision after seeing what I thought was really good was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I really enjoyed
Right.
that, and that was
No, they did a
classic
great job.
Marvel
Hmm.
universe. And
Hmm.
then of course Mandalorian.
Yeah, we burned through that.
Yeah, I mean I'm kind of like into Mandalorian, but then we'll see. I mean, I really want that to
Pascal,
go
our boy,
somewhere.
that's going to be whiskey from the Statesman from Kingsman.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be cool.
Whiskey, that's who that was in Mandalorian.
Yeah, yeah. So then,
And he was also just in what? Oh, I got to see. Not that we are talking about early, but WW84 Wonder Woman.
yeah, I didn't see that yet.
But he's in there too.
Oh, okay.
Pascal. He's the villain in that too.
Oh, Pedro
So
Pascal. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then, the Bad Batch is playing now animated version of basically the sequel to the Clone Wars.
Right.
I'm intrigued. How about you?
Yep. I'm still watching them. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll have more. And then, did you watch Hamilton?
No, no.
Okay.
I'm not a musical guy.
You really should.
Little Shop of Horrors is about the best I can do, man.
I think you'd really enjoy Hamilton. It's very good. It's
Moulin Rouge,
historical.
never seen it. What's the other one that
Really,
was big?
Moulin Rouge is so good.
What was
It's
the other
dark.
one?
You say you like dark. Moulin Rouge is dark.
Yeah, I just can't do musicals.
All right. Well, we'll get from musicals to Netflix.
That was
Drive
a
to
chitty chitty
Survive.
bang bang.
Well, I know you didn't watch Drive to Survive, so we'll talk about it. But Drive to Survive, which was both a hit and a miss. The first two seasons were a hit. Third season, not so much. Stranger Things, that was your jam.
Right. That's still another one of those coming back. And she just showed up the girl from that and something too,
Yeah,
moving on
yeah.
to something better too, I know. And I was like, well, yeah, that's her. Yeah. So in Stranger Things, still, yeah, I don't know where it's going to go this next time around. They're going to have to, I don't think it was one of those shows that thought it was going to be as good as take off as much as it did. So I think they're kind of straining for shows now that
Oh,
are going to
okay. So
be in
they're
this
they're
time
pushing.
coming
Yeah,
moving forward. I don't know. I'm just kind of getting that feel like the writers are like, well, where do we take this now?
yeah, and
People still like it.
right. So in some of these we have I've got listed what episodes we started talking about. We started talking about Stranger Things in episode 10.
Right away.
So
Yeah, it's been
yeah,
around.
that's been around for a while. And then my jam was Umbrella Academy, and I know you liked it too.
Right. Which you haven't watched Doom Patrol yet though, right? You
I
got to
have
check that
I
out.
have not watched Doom Patrol, but yes, I will.
Yeah, you'll like that as well. It's going to be interesting seeing Elliot Page reprise his role in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be cool because that's and Elliot is basically saying he's gender fluid, so it'll be cool. I think that's going to be interesting to watch that going forward. Mr. Robot was episode 1. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah.
The great show. And Rami has gone on to do some great and odd other things. So
Yeah, I mean, he was great as Freddie Mercury. I was like, he did a great Freddie Mercury. I got to give him credit, and he sang. I mean, come on.
some of it, yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
yeah,
he trained. Yeah.
yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then I'm hoping it's coming back soon. I heard good things. Survivor.
Yes, yes. I know my daughter's gone back and even started watching some of the ones where she was too young before she got into them. And I go, oh, check out this. And I was like, and the guy gave it up for his mom. And, I just was like, there is some bad moves that have happened in the past on those shows.
Yeah, yeah. And but the thing is that again, episode 11 was when we first started talking about Survivor. I mean, from like even the last 5 years, Survivor's changed. I mean, it's
Yes.
you know,
They've done some, but it stayed, I mean, they're still not scripting it by any means. You know what I mean?
no, no,
It's
but the
no.
the gameplay has changed because it seems like everybody who's on it now grew up watching Survivor, so now they've
Right.
all got like the
Right.
I'm gonna do
It
this and this,
really
but
see,
it
and that's what
sometimes
really
backfires.
exact. But what really sucked is when they had the old and the new there at the one time. The new just kept on saying, "We got to get rid of the old. We got to get rid of the old. We got to get rid of the old." They made it too easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Once
yeah,
you didn't have the numbers, the old guard went out. Boston Rob and all that. They couldn't do anything because the only focus was to get the old guard out. Period.
right,
And
right, yeah.
and so that really kind of failed to me on that kind of a level.
Yeah, yeah. It was it's going to be interesting going forward. I guess they're going to do some different things this coming season that they were supposed to do last year during COVID. So we'll see. But yeah,
Well, let's
Survivor's.
just hope it doesn't jump the shark. We just don't want too many. I mean, all these idols everywhere have all gotten and the fire tokens and there's already complexities to this and going to the island and coming back, after all that and being able to play against people that have gone the whole time, and I don't know if I like a little of this, or a lot of it. Right. Well, yes, he's trying to rip it off. He's giving it a shot. Just keep it going. That is right. And I just watched. What did I just watch? Kind of another little one like that. John dies in the end. Kind of. It was a more supernatural kind of thing. Another
Okay.
zombies. Um, but yes, I will seek out good zombie movies. So if anybody has any, put them in the comments. NCW, yes, I'm still watching my Nancy Drews and my
Yes,
Lois and
CW.
Superman and Lois, definitely. And and DC's Legends of Tomorrow, I think, is already back, and I got to start watching that, now.
Yeah. So I
So
mean, you get the zombies in the CW, and then
and yes, and my for Fear the Walking Dead is going away. I mean, Fear is staying, but Walking Dead is going away. So
did you watch Army of the Dead? I know we talked about that last episode or the episode before.
the new
Um, yeah,
the
the new
heist
one.
one, no,
Yeah.
I with Dave in it. No, I've not watched it yet.
Okay,
So
because the online stuff I've been reading is they had to CGI an actress in, and they said some of the scenes are really weird, like the backgrounds are blurred, and some stuff doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, they did one of those. So
I
I just,
saw speaking of, I was looking at Marvel show, it says Marvel Universe, when you look at some platform, you can look at them all, and
mm-hmm.
it's got everything that we're just talking about, and all of a sudden at the end was called The Losers. And I'm like, this is
Okay.
for a show probably, but I was like, what the heck is this? It had Dean Moore, it had Negan in it, Henry Dean Morgan. It had one of the Hemsworth, I think it was Chris, but it was
Was
like,
this like
I
from like a
swear,
while ago?
yeah, I should have looked at. Yes, I should have looked at the date on it, but it was like it looked like one of those. You know how most zombie movies look like they were shot over the weekend. We get all your friends together, start Friday night. So and then go the weekend and then put it in a can. I swear this is like one of those type of movies to
So it's
me.
just like a
Uh,
film students like doing their thing.
I could swear it. I'm like, but they're actually, this group is actually a Marvel graphic novel. So it was like, it just didn't. But when you have the slickness of everything else, and then you put that thing on there, it's kind of like, ooh, who greenlit this one?
It's almost like fan fiction at that point.
Yeah, right. They're like anything. We got, hey, yeah, me and the guys, we got the weekend. Yeah, let's go shoot this up north.
Yeah, we watched a
Yeah,
couple YouTube videos. Let's do this thing.
let's do this. Let's go.
So
Woo!
yeah. Now, speaking of something that was very well done was Game of Thrones, which I loved
Yes.
everything except for the last season. So
I didn't like her burning everything with her dragons.
yeah, I
The
mean, I didn't
tantrum she
I
did
didn't
through.
mind the temper tantrum. I just thought they like did it wrong. Like that
Oh my
whole
gosh,
last
the with
season was wrong.
blowing up the citadel with everybody, and it was just, and then the kid walking off the, chopper, the son walking out the window, killing himself.
Oh
It
yeah,
just, I was like,
Toman.
wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot, man. We just went through a lot here. And was there ever more a despicable person that you loved than Janie Lannister?
Jamie and Cersei. Cersei was horrible too. She was a
She was there, but you didn't really
wonderful.
like her.
What
You
was
didn't
it?
like her though.
Yeah, but she was so strong, and she was like a fierce mom, but she was just so
Yes,
like screwed in the head.
right.
Was there anybody on there that wasn't screwed in the head? I mean, they were all kind of screwed in the head, weren't they?
Yeah, Reek and all that, and
Oh, poor
yeah.
Reek. Yeah, I
Oh,
tell
and
you.
the next one is going to be what, taken 300 years in the past, right? Or
I
3,000
don't know.
years, or
Are
a
you gonna
thousand years in
watch
the
that? Are you
past?
gonna watch the side universe? Because I don't know if I am.
We're going to give it a shot. Yeah. I mean, why
Okay.
would you not?
See,
The
Dave will
guy's
watch it, and then
writing
he'll
it.
tell us whether it's any good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll give it a shot
There you go. And of course, Formula
just for
One.
the show.
Formula One, which is ongoing for me. You started talking about it, episode 18. I won't stop talking about it. We had one of the best races and the most boring races of the year this past weekend was Monaco. Max Verstappen won Monaco. Lewis Hamilton, seven-time world champion, came in like seventh and didn't even like
Make a run
challenge.
for it.
No, he
What
never
is
even
going on?
challenged.
Bad car?
I don't know what got into his head, but it's like, and Monaco's one of those races that you can't pass at. Normally, there's a couple of crashes at Monaco. It was a clean race. Just was it was interesting to watch, but it was also boring to watch. But we had a really cool podium with Max, Lando, and Carlos Sainz. So I was pretty excited. So there's my Formula One. So, but we have some odds and ends to talk about that we've talked about in the past that we talk about every now and then. But Alex Trebek has passed, and Aaron Rodgers hosted Jeopardy. You watched those episodes, correct?
Right. Like it was kind of just, it was odd. It was just kind of weird, seeing, first of all, again, and not Alex's voice, and then hearing Rogers's voice.
Now, do you think he
I
would make a good host going forward?
no,
No.
no,
Okay.
no. I think he's a fanboy. I will never take that away from him, and I think he did an adequate job. But I think he's a little too low key for it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not like, but I think he's a little droning to me. The monotone,
Okay, he doesn't have
maybe.
a lot of modulation in his voice
Yeah,
then.
I don't think his inflection, really is there that needs to be there. So
Okay.
no, I really think Ken Jennings would be the guy. That's
Okay, I
still
was
my
just gonna
vote.
ask you that. So Ken, yeah,
Yeah, Ken Jennings.
and of course he's a Jeopardy, god. He's,
Right,
just so good at it. So you may as
right.
well, let him host.
Yeah, I don't think the fans would have a problem with him either.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's cool. And then of course, we talk about your Google picks. Where are you at?
3.2 million on about 550 pictures.
Wow, that's so cool. So 300 point or 3.2 million people have viewed your
Three million two
photographs.
hundred thousand plus. Yes, have
Oh,
looked at
that's
my photos.
so cool. See,
The
Dave's
best one I
internet
got is still
famous.
the best one
I
is still 600,000, um, which was the old Sears building that turned into the Freight building. I don't know. It all happened, like, must have been happening while it was being switched over, or they were talking about it, because I went up a half a
okay.
million shots in 1 month. It went up half a million,
Oh,
so it
that's
was kind of
super
weird.
cool.
Yeah, and then the second one I have right now is just incredible to me, because if I have 600,000, then my next one's 100,000. Okay. But that is the deer processing in the back room behind the shop for Bunzel's. It doesn't even have a storefront barely.
Oh my
And
God.
I've got this is just since November. I don't know why, that's the one I said Dexter for deer on it.
Oh my goodness. That's funny.
But it's got that. And then the third best one after that is a picture I took of a bridge down in between Illinois and Missouri. We were down there visiting Ian, and there was a bridge we went across, and it was a really nice blue day and a couple of wispy clouds. And I took a picture and posted it on the bridge site, and that one's got 100,000. People like bridges.
Yeah, people like architectural things. So then, and then the other thing that Dave does is he's got his rotating art in the back. My art is static, but your art is rotating.
Right. And then I've moved to the concert shirts, which I forgot to mention, to my one that I had on last week, which was the uh, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band when they toured back in '99. I got to see Clarence Clemens was still with them and everything like that.
Oh
Max
wow.
Weinberg took off from the Tonight Show. He was the Tonight Show
Oh
band member,
really? Yeah, he was
leader,
he was the
and he
Tonight
took,
Show
right,
band
right.
leader. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. And so Max even took off. They were all there, and and on stage it was a great show. Stripped down, just him on stage with the whole band. It was super. I think that same year I got to see the No Quarter, which was the Zeppelin Page, together. That's the closest as you're gonna ever get to Zeppelin,
Right.
the
Right.
Page
Yeah.
plant. And then this was 1993. Paul McCartney at the at Country Stadium at the time, County Stadium, and
So you know that Paul McCartney wrote the worst Christmas song of all time, right?
wonderful time. That one,
Oh, that
having a
wonderful
wonderful
Christmas
time.
time. I hate that
Yeah.
song. It's the worst song. Everybody you ask says it's the worst Christmas song.
every happy, having a very time.
And Dave singing again, which has become another feature
Um,
of the show. Dave sings.
just a quick thing on the I actually won tickets to this on KLH doing one of their little stops. You drive in, put your name in the box, and mine got picked, and I was like, all right, free tickets to Paul McCartney. And
Holy crap! How much were those tickets back in the day? They
well,
probably
I don't know back then. Yeah, I
they
mean,
probably weren't cheap.
and no, and they were giving away also four Beatles. All right, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, Volkswagen Beatles. They had four Beatles they were giving
Oh,
away. KLH, all with names John, and John, Paul, George, and Ringo. And so you had to get together, and they picked names out of a hat. And then whoever picked out a hat got a key, and then you went and saw which key it fit into which Volkswagen you got to check out, and that's the one you got.
oh, very cool.
So we're all crowded up. I'm at the thing and everything, and they reaching in there, and the first name they pull out, I goes Dave, and I look at my wife at the time, my ex-wife, and I like, and he goes McGurk, or whatever it is, and I'm like, oh, and then they pull out another name, Steve Banyan, whatever, and then they pull out another name, and they go Dave, and then I look at her again like, how can there be any more? I'm like almost starting to walk, and then it goes Smith, and I'm like,
Ah, poor Dave didn't win a Beetle.
yeah, yeah. So, out of four names, two of them were Dave, and neither of them were me.
Ah, poor Dave.
uh,
Well. So yeah, and the other thing that's changed, I used to do a flower. Now I'm doing kitty ears.
Kitty ears.
So for the 21st century, we got kitty ears. But
They're
yeah,
really antennas, folks.
yeah, they are. I'm
So
secretly
the
in.
chip she got it
You know
because then
what?
the
I
chip,
started wearing these around the time I got vaccinated. Just saying.
right?
Oh wait.
See,
And here we go. There he is.
Lido. Oh, we got to see him. Where is he? No,
He's
don't see him.
there. He is. Come
Maybe
here.
an ear.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
Sure, but
Oh,
remember now they put that chip in you now
that's right.
that your
There's the
ears are
word.
going to actually, accentuate the chip, so they can even hear you
Oh,
more
okay. Is
now.
that what
Uh,
happens?
right.
Okay. So this is actually antennas that are receiving a signal.
And transmitting
Oh,
your
and
brainwave
my
activity.
brainwave
Yes.
activity.
Yes, because of the chip
Ooh,
in you that you got from doing the COVID
litocam.
shot.
Ah,
Lidocam.
litocam. All right, boy, you got to jump down. So yeah, and food. All right, so my quick favorites, and then you can tell us your. And in episode 2, I started talking about Urban Beats, which I still go to and went there last week. Celesta first mentioned was episode 37. Bummed out because they just announced they're closed. May 20th, they announced they're closed.
Oh,
So I'm bummed out. And then first mention Milwaukee Farmers United was just a few episodes ago, episode 34, 16 episodes ago. I'm still digging Milwaukee Farmers United. They're growing all the time. Definitely recommend them. What's your favorite food places?
boy. I guess as far as this goes, I do like in the summer trying to hit some of the food truck thing, the vending things, when they
Okay.
have those things on. I do enjoy that over the summer. Fair food, if I can get it, I'll go there and get it too.
Ah, okay. I for food trucks, I definitely recommend Taqueria Buena Vista. I,
Benavista,
I know that
that's
their food truck is out in front of Home Depot on
Home
National Avenue.
Depot.
Yep.
Yes, I've had it a couple times.
Okay, see, there you go. So,
They know the rule. Remember the rule I've discussed here.
okay, what remind everybody of Dave's rule.
Okay, if you have two taco or tostada type things, whether you're making them at home or you're getting them there at a taco truck, once you're done eating, there should be enough on the plate to make a third taco.
Yes, I agree. And that Dave's rule is absolutely correct
And
because that's how I do
Benavista
it.
does that. Tanqueria does that. I
Yeah.
had a taco and a tostada, and I kept one of the because they do the double
Oh, they double
shells,
wrap it?
always.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always do that. And then so you got to kind of peel that one away, and then you get one more taco at the end.
See, that's a bonus taco.
Bonus taco.
Bonus tacos are good. All right,
Yep.
adventures. I mentioned kayaking. Last year I started kayaking. Really exciting. I love doing it. Still kayaking. I did mention the computer build early on. Around episode 7 or 8, I started building a computer for cord cutting. Guess what? We don't need to do that anymore because everybody's got a smart TV. Dave, you like doing estate sales.
Yes,
What's
and
your favorites?
yeah, just look on estate sales, and I'll tell you, the more that it looks stuffed with stuff, the more I like it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean the hoarder places are great for me. They really are. So, and I've gone to a couple of warehouses that do a good job too. But boy, the last time, because everybody was out and about, just was trying to get out the first couple times. It's like I walked in and I saw the line wrap around with people, and I was like, nope, goodbye.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even want to find something right now.
Well, and a little farther down the list, we have Dave's ironing boards, which are you still doing the ironing boards?
And now you've got that on me. I'm gonna have to finish. I got one that's almost finished, the metal one, and then I got the other second wooden one that I have not done something with um, yet. As we at Chrissy and I, we finished up a crib we put into a seat. So made like a pet bed or something, if you want to call it.
Oh,
We're
okay.
trying to
Yeah.
work on that. Then we made a bench for Ian out of a table leaf. It was an oak table leaf and a sawhorse, an antique vintage primitive um, um,
So you're repurposing
sawhorse
things.
sawhorse, and we cut it down the legs a little bit and made a table, like a little table on the short table. So
That's cool.
longer. So yeah, so little things like that we've been working on, and so far in spring, which we're getting to. Hey, Yacone.
Yes, Yacone.
Yes,
First mentioned
Yacone.
episode 28. That's my Yacone, right?
This one's yours. Or
Yeah.
Rogers.
It's Rogers, yes. Yes. And then
I
yeah.
actually put 35 plants in up at my folks's farm garden. And then we took
Wow.
another, yeah, that was what I had flowered like this. And then I went down and we have this peat bog, down in the low area.
Okay.
And
The
the soil there
wetlands.
is, yes, the soil there is black as night. And it just, oh my gosh, even the smell of it, it's good soil, but it will flood out, but I put 10 rhizomes against the edge. So hopefully if it gets over amount of rain, the grass near it will take some of it, or it'll pool up farther in. So we're going to see what that does. And I actually think it might give me a little extra different taste coming out of that peat.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I guess we'll check into that. So yeah, so then our other favorite things are both Maker Faire. We both like that.
Yep.
So yeah, and then Maker Faire is actually moving to the MSOE campus in September. I don't know if anybody's aware of that, but yeah, that'll be moving. And then I highly recommend the Harley Davidson Museum. I don't know if you've been yet.
I have not gone yet. No, I want to go though. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, they're going to have their own little get together because they pulled out a Summerfest this year. So, Harley's going to do their own thing now.
They don't. They're running out of money. Let's just be clear about that. They are running out of money. All right, we're gonna do some internet adventure stuff. Do a little retrospective. Come on. There's my bubbles. All right, internet adventures. So Reddit memes. That's under me. I love my Reddit memes. We reoccurringly talk about that.
The Bernie one was the last good one. That's
Which
good,
one?
big one. Bernie, remember the Bernie with
Oh my God, the
mittens?
Bernie memes are amazing. And then, yeah, internet security. We both talk about that all the time. So, yeah,
Yeah, we just mentioned again the I've been pwned. Remember looking up
yeah,
that.
yeah, that was like the last episode or the episode before. And then, episode 1, Pokemon Go. We were talking about that. Can you believe
We were
that?
laughing. We were laughing about that. Yeah, people walking around like zombies on their phones,
Well, and the
outside.
thing is, I have a neighbor kid who is still doing Pokemon Go, and he's like talking to all his buddies who don't seem interested in it. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you can get your Pokemon over here. You can get your Pokemon." We're like, "Wait a minute, Pokemon Go is still a thing. We mentioned that so long ago." But yeah, and
This
then,
kid wasn't born when it was mentioned.
well, yeah, no, he's got to be like 12 or 13, but it's like
Uh,
really okay. And then we had Colin Kaepernick, and look what's happened since then.
yeah, yeah. It's again, people who don't want say they didn't like what he did, kneeling, don't like any kind of protest. Just it comes down to that. You just have
Yeah.
to remember that is
Well,
that
and yeah.
it's never how the message is given, as I've discussed. It's the message itself. People always, when you break up with someone, they always, if you do it one way, they said they should have done it the other way. Oh,
That's right.
why didn't you just not call me anymore? Well, I didn't think that was right, so I talked to you. And when you don't call me anymore, welcome, you just didn't call me and tell me it's never the delivery, it's the message,
Yeah.
and people
And
don't want to see the message.
to that point, we talked about this, what episode were we in when we talked about it? Episode 5. Um, what did we talk about a couple episodes ago with the Olympics? They're banning protests and Black Lives Matter shirts. And so we're
NBA,
still
remember
talking
they
about
went
this.
from the Breonna Taylor, everything they boycotted the game. During in that
Yes.
when they were in the bubble, they
Yeah.
boycotted a game,
Yeah.
and all sports went along with it.
Yeah, they
Because
did.
they didn't want to penalize the Bucks and Giannis. So we're like, okay, we either can penalize Giannis and the Bucks and say they lost a game, or we can just all do it. Let's
That's
all do
right.
it. Okay. And
That's
Sterling
right.
Brown, he's just finished up his little run-in thing going on with
Yep.
Milwaukee, and he wanted
He's
the
settling. Yep.
apology.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So my all
Long way to
time
go yet.
we do have a long way to go yet. My all time favorite meme was the one from the few months ago. The "I'm here live. I'm not a cat." I love that. That's so fun. I mean, if something funny had to come out of COVID, that was
There,
pretty funny.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah. So we have our not so hip internet things because we are hip or critical. So our not so hip internet things. Facebook. That's always reoccurring. Um, yeah.
I actually had a guy put something out, and he says, "I don't care if it's true or not." He flashed a meme so it's not, so you can't even disprove that with a person.
Right.
Did you know what I mean? It's the whole he taken the COVID problem, which, why don't you want to get a vaccination? Well, I'm not going to. Why? Well, I'm just not going to. Well, where did you hear? Why did you make that decision based on everything else that's out there? You're not going to, lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink, right? So when somebody's still doing stuff like, I don't care if it's true or not, that's just harm. That what are you doing now then, actually?
Well, and we talked about it that all the disinformation for vaccinations that was on Facebook, Twitter, and other social platforms came
12 people.
12 sources. It's like that's crazy. Somebody is, I don't know why they take these things and run with them. It's like look into what you're saying and what you're believing first. That's your responsibility as an individual as well. But
Well, the
yeah,
last one they said is the government should leave about my health alone. I'll worry about that. It's my rights you're supposed to protect, not my health. The government's not supposed to protect my health. I'm supposed to do that. You're supposed to protect my rights. And I'm just like, I don't even know
until it
how
becomes
many things are
women's health,
wrong with that.
and then the right wants to take that under their
No,
wing
no,
and
no.
tell
The
us
free
what's good and bad.
vaccine. Did you not want the government to fast track this free vaccine?
Well,
Is that
clearly
what you're
I
coming to?
did.
That's one thing I can look at you right there. So you think fast tracking the vaccine and giving it to us free? The government did that. That was all wrong. That they should not have done that at all. Is
No,
that really what you said by that?
no,
That
no.
certainly looks like that's what you're saying by that.
That's what these people who don't really they think of issues as black and white, and everything is a shade of gray at the end of the day. And you have to think about the complexity and the context and the cultural references and everything else before you get a considered response. And these people don't think like that. They think in black or
Again, they
white.
want somebody to pick a fight with them,
Yeah.
and then this is the tit for tat, and they don't understand that they just
Well, and it's like you said.
They
Oh,
just tatted
they
me,
should.
and now I'm gonna give them a tit, and they're gonna. Whoa, what's wrong here?
Oh
What's
no,
it
Dave's talking about tits again.
do?
No, but I mean, like you were saying, oh, the government is here to protect my rights and not deal with my health. Yeah, it's part of the government to deal with your health too. Don't you want them watching out for lead in the water or PCBs or
Right.
anything like that?
Unsafe work conditions,
Yeah, yeah,
mercury. Want to go back to just working with mercury in your hats?
yeah. Lead in the paint. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Let's, yeah. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
So,
No.
but that was like not so cool, not so hip. The other thing is, we lost our first 20 episodes because we were on Google Hangouts, and this is a real bummer. They got deleted. They never got saved.
They're gone. So again, we're talking to anybody out there who might have recorded those for us. Just let us know
Yeah.
for our archives.
Yes, please send us a copy.
We'll give you a free subscription to the show.
Wow. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So, and then, of course.
Wonka wonka. Woo-hoo.
Exactly.
Get my little slide whistle. Woo.
So this is our 50th episode, and we have learned a lot. Don't you agree?
Sure. Yeah. I just show up. You've been the one that does all the technical stuff.
Yeah,
You're
talking
the
about
techie.
technical stuff.
You learned a lot.
We always have technical difficulties.
You rammed it down my head. I think it's in there somewhere. Someone's going to say something and I'll have an answer. And I'm like, where did you know that from? And I go, I think Alexa.
My husband started doing tech support at work because he would call me.
See, you are Alexa.
Yeah.
Alexa,
help me with my computer. But yeah, so we do have ongoing technical issues. However, we are always trying to improve. So I just want to point this out.
Hence the first time we're on Zoom. This is our
first time on Zoom, and this is known as an Elgato Stream Deck.
Elgato.
I have an Elgato Stream Deck. I don't have it hooked up right now because I have to learn how to use it. But that's going to be for future episodes. So hopefully that'll help us out, and you won't be hearing like mouse clicks like you hear now. So that's to help us do that. So your favorite thing was sex toys having your number.
Well, that was actually you had that in. So
I just figured I'd say it was
I wanted to bring it back again to remind us what that was about.
Yeah, so basically there were sex toys that were connected to the Internet of Things. Yeah.
Yes, I think I did see something like that where it's like you can they can self-insert a vibrator and then somebody else can go like phone a number or hit an app and it'll go on, and that's how you touch your significant other from afar.
So
apparently.
I don't know what was going on with that. It was just so bizarro, but that definitely was a miss. That was not hip at all. Then there was Martin Shkreli with the Wu-Tang album. Remember that?
Farmer Bro. That's the Farmer Bro, man. Well, the big
God.
thing is about this girl Smith, or Smythe, whatever, his girlfriend, not girlfriend, that when he went to jail, she quit her job. She left her husband. She froze her eggs for this guy. And then when it finally gets down to it, he goes, yeah, well, she can do whatever she wants, whatever she wants. And all of a sudden she's like, what? He's not being my boyfriend. Oh, I'm going to move on now.
Yeah.
But she did all that for this guy, and he's just kind of like, yeah, well, whatever.
I tell you, he's such a despicable
like
human being.
Yeah.
He was definitely not hip. So we spoke about memes earlier. Biden memes from 2016. We were talking about him in episode 12 because they were, basically calling him an old doddering whatever. And at the end of the day, who's our president?
To do this? Right. But where do I get to do this? All the Republicans that said that Biden was too old, Trump is going to be older than that if he gets elected next time around.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So now everybody that cried about Biden's age, where are we going to remind them about Trump's age? That you thought that was too old.
Oh,
Trump's in better shape. Yeah.
Trump's in better shape. Yeah.
With he's not mentally incapacitated. That's a difference of opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it's one's mentally incapacitated and the other one has no mental capacity.
There is that, right? I tell you. So, TikTok. We talked
Tic
about
Tac
that.
Man. Tic Tac Man.
Tick
Tic Tac
tock. We talked about in
Man.
episode 27 how I thought it was bad, and it ended up getting banned off of a lot of government,
Military, yeah.
military, government, things like that.
Data mining again.
Yeah, data mining. Chinese are spying on you for realsies, not through your whatever. And then
But
my
the real big part of that, though, part of that was Trump wanted TikTok in the US a different version that he could start getting kickbacks from. That's how what was going on there.
well, he also got on TV and was shilling for Goya. It's like, come on. So speaking of Chinese crap, Amazon
China.
Amazon sells so much Chinese crap that it pushes out legitimate businesses, which that's also not so hip. Um, and then speaking of Trump, Parlor. Remember
Yeah,
talking?
where is that now?
I don't know. Well, I know they tried to start up again with some Russian money, so that was
Right.
awesome.
I don't know. It's still there. I think it went away again.
Well,
I
and
think
then
one of the guys that founded it left it and all that, or kicked out. And
yeah, and then you
yeah,
you had the LinkedIn harassment, and that was kind of part of the Me Too movement too, wasn't it?
Ryan, that's the first time we got a outside comment on one of our shows. That's why I kind of also want to do that. It's some woman agreed with you on your. That was actually an after hours that we did.
Yeah, yeah, that was one of our after hours ones. And then you actually had this one. Netflix argued that 300 gigabytes per month was not enough to meet the needs of customers. I think COVID proved that wrong.
Yes. That's the whole thing with this net neutrality we're still working on. We can't, and throttle backs and all that. We just found out that there's no reason for you to have to throttle back the internet, folks. We just found out that everybody in the world can use it at one time and it never goes down. It didn't. There was no
No,
explosion at a
not for the
factory.
most
There was
part.
no cable line that got cut. There was no no satellite that went down. So for you to tell me that I need to spend $100 for 100, whatever speed, bullshit, bullshit. No,
Yep.
no, no, no.
Dave's
It's
got his
50
bullshit
bucks.
out.
Yeah, you got to get fifty bucks a month and you should be unlimited at the highest speed you have. That's what we have. That's what you can give us and you decide not to.
Well, and that brings in community broadband too, because there is no competition. I mean, at the end of the day, there is no competition. You either pay more or you don't get it, and there's areas that don't get internet, that's even usable. I mean, it's crazy. So I guess we're gonna see where we go forward with that because the internet's pretty much a utility now.
Mhm.
Yep, yep, yep. So we're gonna move on to is this critical? So there's a lot we covered under is this critical. Um, so Dave, COVID. We started talking about COVID in episode 25.
It's been a while. So
Yeah.
it's just like, hey, what about this COVID thing? Think it's going to happen? I can just hear that in our, in our voice. Probably. I didn't go back and look, but I was just like, hey, what's
No, we
this
were
thing
we
going
were
on?
talking about it. We were talking about lockdowns and stuff. But I mean, think about that. That's half of our episodes. That's a lot of
Yeah,
episodes.
that's a lot of episodes.
And then Ash Whitaker was one of our early episodes.
Oh, just to hit for COVID, just before we leave, went into Home Depot today. One of the guys didn't have a mask on. I go, well, we changed the mask around here preferences, and he goes, yeah, we're watching CD guidelines. If you're double vaccinated and had your 2 weeks, you don't have to wear a mask. And I was like, okay, pulled mine down. First time I'm walking around Depot without a mask on.
See now,
So
speaking of that, I've been vaccinated and I am still going into places with a mask on because I have a filter in my mask and it's like first of all, I can't infect you if I even do get it because you can still get COVID if you're vaccinated. There's a very small chance. It's been something like it was like 9,000 out of 17 million.
well, no, again, remember, it's effective to 85% of non-hospitalization, non-hard,
Right.
problems.
I don't want to
So
get it
there's still going
all.
to be 15. There's still 15 out of 100 that's going to get it. And only those people that have had the vaccination and that 15 out of 100 can populate enough to infect somebody else when you get it.
Right.
But anybody who gets it is asymptomatic. They don't even have enough population to check out, see what variant it is. They can't even find enough of it. So
Well, I'm
you're
I'm
not
still wearing my
transmitting it.
mask until
And I'm not going to tell you not to. And Chrissy's probably going to keep doing it. You know, she's got COPD. She doesn't want to get COVID. She doesn't
no,
want to
and see
get it.
that's it. When you're
So
high risk, you don't want to get COVID. But,
no,
you know,
it's
at
like
the
the
end of the
flu.
day, I'm still wearing my mask because there's people at Rogers work with a cold. I don't want to get a cold. I don't want to get the flu.
I know.
And I
It
certainly
helps
don't
on
want to
all the
get
other things.
COVID. And the incidents in cold and flu were almost non-existent this last year because
Right.
pretty much everybody was wearing a mask. So I'm gonna continue to wear my mask because I don't want to get sick at
Yep.
all.
Yep.
But
I
anyway,
hear that.
Ash Whitaker, you had that on one of our.
Then I just want to do a follow-up follow on that. Yes, definitely. Ash was the one that was forced to use a bathroom when she wanted to use. He wanted to use the transgender wanted to use the male version and fought for it. And 3 years later, he was found correct, and they gave him 800,000. So
Oh
there
wow,
goes
that I
one.
was not aware of. That's cool.
Right. Right. Well, again, and then again, like I said, we're talking about those things. I'm still an old guy, it's tough, but it's got to, you got to start it in high schools and younger. It has to be able to move up,
Yeah.
because just to drop that into somebody at a workplace or something, it's kind of weird, or college, or at a bar, you know what I mean? It's just kind of hard to drop that in,
Yeah, but
so.
Europe has a lot of unisex bathrooms, so
No,
it's
and
like
I'm all for that. Remember, I
yeah,
said three until you get to one. Hey, I agree. Three
yeah,
might be a way sometimes for protection on all sides.
yeah.
So and until we can get to one, hey, let's just get to one. I'm out for that.
I,
Use
I
any
don't
one
even
you
think it's
want.
one. It's like have multiple bathrooms. Everybody just go in and use whatever's available.
Exactly. What next? That's
Yeah,
it. There's two,
exactly.
and next. Mhm.
Yep, yep. And talk about COVID vaccines. We first mentioned those on episode 38. We've both been vaccinated. We probably should have tied that in. Black Lives Matter. We did a whole standalone episode. That's how important that was. So linking back to Colin Kaepernick, look where we came.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then mask mandates reoccurring. We've been
We
talking
just
about
we just
those.
kind of touched about that now.
Yeah, yeah. Trump reoccurring. We keep talking about that. It's
Ugh,
like,
trying not to.
yeah, I know. And yet we do. But we first mentioned him episode 15. And what did that come to? Episode 41, where we started talking about the Capitol riots. Isn't that great?
Yes. Uh,
I
that's
know.
why we went. Yeah, and that many shows. That's what he did to our nation.
Yeah. Yeah. Over 4 years. It's like we went from just talking about somebody we thought was just like,
Right. And
how do
and
we
again,
get a reality star as a president to talking about an
and
actual
ag-
insurrection?
and again, the Asian problems we're having, people that the Asians are having, is direct result. You're not going to
Well,
tell me
it's
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 not.
racism, it's misogyny, it's
Uh,
bigotry, it's ridiculous. But then what?
Chief Morales. Yeah, that's
Yes.
good to see you say it like that, because he is still chief, right? I mean, he's Chief Morales.
Is he
Not
Chief
really.
Morales or is he not Chief
Retired.
Morales? Yeah.
Right. He
Yeah.
retired. And they said, well, you retired. You can't have your job. Well, wait a minute. But you told me I didn't have my job. That's why I retired. No, there was a tit for the tat there again.
Yeah. Well,
I was
and we're talking
reactionary.
20 episodes ago we started talking about Chief Morales and here we are, episode 50, and just last week the lawsuit said you got to give this guy his job back. He's still Chief Morales and
He's
there's
still Chief Morales. Yes. And I keep saying that. He's still our chief. He doesn't,
yeah.
you know.
So yeah. And then our one of our favorite subjects too, the internet is spying on you. We've been talking about that since episode 17.
You go right ahead.
Yeah. But then yeah, we talk about sad things. Alexis Patterson, we talked about that in episode 1. Her murder has still not been solved. It's like,
Mm,
we're talking going back to 2016. It's 5 years ago. That's so sad for her family. It's like, I don't know. And
I'll tell you, you talk about my CW shows. They did a couple of episodes back to back about a missing black woman, and at the same time a white woman went missing, and of course the black woman's missing problem and all that kind of got swept under, right? And it's kind of realizing that now, and it's good. They're doing it in a really kind of good way, making trying to make people on the show woke, and then people watching the show woke as well, and just little, well, did they ever have that many people out looking for her? Kind
Well, and
of,
that's just it. I mean, I know the community came together to put together, a search and everything, but they didn't have the resources from necessarily, the government and law enforcement, that maybe if it would have been a white girl, maybe,
right.
they would have known what happened to her.
Rewards and yeah.
Yeah, the community would have had closure, and her family definitely would have had closure. So, it really is sad. And, again, does her life matter? It does to me. I mean, I'm still, sad for the
Still
family.
talking about it. Bring it up.
Yep, we're still talking about it. Mitchell Park domes. So we started talking about that in episode 10, and
They fixed them up a little. They're keeping them.
Yeah, we're gonna
blowing them
keep
up.
them, and so I don't know. I know they came up with a plan, so I guess we'll keep talking about that, and then also the streetcar. So have you ridden the hop yet? I haven't.
No, I have not yet.
Do you intend to?
Yeah, I suppose, but I just haven't found a reason to yet. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, and then you had your bees are dead after spraying for Zika.
Right. I just want to do the yin of the yang for this kind of thing. It's like you lost a bee population because you're trying to get the Zika down. What are like anything? There's always magic has its price.
It really does, and the thing is the bee population is under threat from so many different like the agricultural spraying and everything else. And it's like, I don't know. It's like we don't need plants to be pollinated. I mean, what do we need bees for, right? Oh wait, I'm vegan. I kind of want the bees.
You do need them.
I do need them. And then Dave still has a thing about breastfeeding in public.
Well, another Twitter picture of some Olympic girl standing on her head, topless, with her baby on the ground. She's again, like it's doing a headstand, so she's feet are in the air, perfectly straight up in the air, and the baby has crawled and is feeding there while she's doing that. I'm just,
Come on, that's
I guess,
amazing.
I guess, you know, okay, all right, that's amazing. You know, again, until an anchor is doing it on news, I don't need to accept it anywhere else. You have the time to pump, you have the time to go somewhere else. I need to go hide. No, it's not about hiding. It's about your choice and what you're doing with your child and inflicting it on other people. We don't need that. It's not part of our
But it's
raising. Okay.
natural. It's a natural thing for women to breastfeed.
And so are
And
hard
when
ons, but
babies
we
are hungry,
don't
they
go.
need to
I
eat.
don't just whip it. If I get a hard on in a restaurant, I don't whip it out and
That's
try to
sexual. And see,
masturbate
you're
so that I can get
sexualizing.
it down because it hurts my sitting with it.
No,
No, it's a
that's
body reactionary thing.
that's
Sometimes they have it.
sexualizing
No, it
something
isn't.
that like when you're breastfeeding, that is not sexual. It is a normal function
No,
of a
no,
mom
but I'm
feeding
just
a
saying
baby.
I'm not sexually. Sometimes you just get one, middle of the night or whatever, during the day, they brush, something
Still
happens,
sexual.
no, it's not. It's natural, just a natural thing.
Oh, Dave. Dave's being Dave.
Darn right.
We'll talk about cultural
Man.
appropriation because now we'll move on from that.
Yeah, we're still having to worry about that. It's still,
I
people
don't know.
still aren't
I
getting it.
think I think we need to be sensitive with that. And I was a costume designer for years, and I probably did some not so appropriate costume design because I did like Pocahontas from Disney and stuff like that.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, I think we need to have a little bit more sensitivity on that. Of course, your favorite costume was the rug from.
Right.
So,
Yes. Well, but here, that's what I'm trying to say is when if you wanted to be the genie, can you wear blue face?
yeah, but that's a
Okay.
cartoon. That's not a
Uh,
culture.
uh, you know,
That's a fairy tale. That's not a culture. That's like saying if you want to be Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy, should you wear green face? So
Hulk, the
Hulk,
Hulk.
Hulk, and Gamora. Yeah, exactly. Um, we actually did the Facebook about the fake news, and then your thing was Alpine closed, and that had to have been really sad for you.
Well, but it didn't. See, that's just it. At that time, it had, and it was
Yeah.
only closed. They had been closed, but now somebody finally was pumping money back into it. But we're going to stop and see, right? Because they were doing reservation renovations. So it was like, but it was also rumored that the condos were coming in. And then a couple of years ago, got to see Farm Aid there. So
Okay.
I mean, and they do have some shows planned, I think, for this year. So or one so far. So they are still opening up. They are working. Alpine is open, but just not much going on right now. Well, this year there's going to be a lot going on.
It'll be
That's for
interesting to
sure.
see with the concerts coming up after
Well,
COVID.
geez, I wanted to go to the Summerfest one of Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy. All
I
right,
saw Fall Out
one.
Boy in concert.
Oh,
Fall Out Boy is really good.
I've seen Weezer. They're excellent. They were a lot of fun. Fall Out
Yeah.
Boy, I saw at the rave. Weezer, I've seen at the rave. I never got to
Were
get
you at
on
the
my
same
bucket
Fall
list.
Out Boy
Green Day,
concert as I was at it?
probably,
I wonder.
probably.
Yeah.
And so, but they're on my checklist. But I can't, so Green Day's on my checklist. I haven't seen them yet, but I can't pay $100 for lawn seats.
No.
That's just
No.
that's
I
a that's
agree.
a that's a now. Well, you get your ticket into the Summerfest too, so it's
So
really
what? You bring three cans and
$20
you get
off.
in for free.
That's back in my day. It's like what happened? But it's not about the music anymore, man.
See that's another rant because I would have a rant. I tried to get pink tickets a few years ago when she came to Fiserv or the arena or something. I forget whether it was before, whether it was still Bradley Center, or whether it was Fiserv. Um, and because resellers grab all those tickets like right away, like nosebleed seats. I kid you not, the nosebleed seats were $900 a seat. That's highway robbery. That's
Yeah,
just
no, I did.
ridiculous.
I remember when she came down. I actually looked, and I was seeing some obstructed view ones behind the stage that were like $100 and some, 100, $300 or something. Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. So we've covered some not so critical things because we call ourselves hypercritical. People's flag, not critical.
No, I like it.
I like it too, but it's not really critical. Do you think it's
No.
critical? And who became not critical? Former
Sheriff
sheriff,
Clark,
former sheriff
former
Clark.
sheriff.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, the things he's said. That's what
right.
I had in this one. He actually had said he threatened local man on a plane. Remember he did that,
Oh my God, that's where it kind of
with
all started and went off the
the meme
rails.
thing, right?
Yeah.
And then we was talking about the Capitol insurrection. If you didn't go into the U.S. Capitol, you do not have to explain why you exercise your constitutional right to assemble. Trust no government official right now. That's what he just said after the insurrection.
He's so not
Don't
critical. Oh my God, the dude is just like yeah. So then our other favorite thing lately has been fuck Ron
fuck Ron
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that guy not critical. This guy needs to go away. He's just such a I don't
he's
know.
just as smart as the My Pillow guy.
Well, yeah, and he's just as punchable. So yeah, and then yeah, we mentioned the My Pillow guy. Oh my God. Anyway, Shia LaBeouf had his art installation.
Yeah, which was just a camera where he stood in front of it saying some bad things about Trump or something or mumbling. And then I know people got in a fight and they had to take it down. But
Yeah.
I like it. That is art. You know what I mean? He's still doing it. He still went and did it. And even though he's a nut, absolute nut, and I think he's getting some problem with the Me Too movement going on now too. But
Oh.
I did enjoy that.
Yeah, yeah, but at the end of the day, it wasn't critical. It didn't make a difference one way or another. So, but yeah, then we have somebody who is critical. Our favorite raconteur, Dave. MoKE moments. So what were your favorite moments of your what'd you really
Well, it's just one of those things. To me, it's like things I've talked about that it haven't gone away. Recycling. We're still, people recycle terribly. It's terrible, terrible,
recycling
terrible. I
is
keep
is
seeing it.
crazy sauce.
It's terrible, and again, we can't even recycle paper in the United States. And this is what infrastructure money should go through: is a couple of recycling plants for paper, because sending it over to Asia, the guys all they did was bring it out to the ocean and dump it, so we couldn't do that anymore.
Well, same thing with clothing. I mean, people don't understand like when you send something over to Goodwill, if they don't sell it, they like have these big bins that people can go through, and those people go through the bins. But at the end of it all, they bundle it up and they send it over to Asia. And Asia got so tired of it, I think they started sending it back.
Jeez.
So
They're
yeah,
their own shirts. Yeah, they don't like our imports.
no.
Tenants, I've always talked about still just terrible tenants. Just working as a maintenance man, that's still happening. And then terrible neighbors, which I
But my neighbor's
continue to have.
moving. Speaking of neighbors, Pat is moving in the next like week or
Uh,
so. We're losing Pat as a
uh,
neighbor, but hopefully she stays as a subscriber. So we
yeah,
love
she, well,
Pat.
that doesn't need to be near to you to be dear to you.
Exactly. We love you, Pat. So my favorites were your Wienermobile, which was a more recent episode, but I just thought that was so funny that you never got a Wiener whistle
Get my whistle.
and you still got Wiener blocked.
Yeah, wiener blocked.
Anyway, and then again, you're talking about your tenants and your neighbors. I love anything related to your job. Like when you're talking about dealing with people, it's amazing. And then my other thing was when you were selling your car. Again, you were dealing
Oh
with
yes.
people. So Dave selling the car was amazing.
Getting mad at him. I love doing that.
Yeah, I know
Screw
you
you. Hmm.
do. See, Dave's all grumpy all the time. So anyway, then we move on usually to hip happenings. Where is it down here? And when I get my Elgato Stream Deck, I won't be clicking around. It's gonna be so awesome. So my favorites, every year I try to pick things out to go see. I know you go and see some of these same things. So Lakefront Festival of Art, you go?
Yeah, I try to go to that. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. And then
just like the Brady Street one or the and or Villette.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Maker Faire. We both like Maker Faire.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we've both been at the same time. Third Ward Art Festival. Have you been to that one?
I don't know if I've been down to that one yet.
Yeah, it's usually in September and it's on Broadway. It's really good. West Dallas Farmers Market, one of my favorite places all summer long. I know you've probably been, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've swing by that one. Yes.
Yeah. And then Fright Hike at Lapham Peak. They didn't have it the last year, so I'm hoping they have it again this year. But
Yeah, there's some good Halloween stuff around. That
yeah.
was that. Remember that one year we talked about they had the zombie one where you took the hayride and you could shoot paintballs at the guys,
Oh
at the
yeah.
people.
Yeah. And then two things that are gone. Milwaukee Masterpiece was one of the best Concours d'Elegance automobile shows in the area. Now gone. They took a hiatus in 2020, which they were going to do anyway, but I think because of COVID and some other things, they didn't have enough staff and money, so now they've folded and they're just doing other events and fundraisers, and they have charitable things they do. So Milwaukee Masterpiece gone, and the other one was the International Bead and Button Show, which was always in Milwaukee.
Buttons show's
The
gone.
Bead and Button
Yes.
Show is gone, but I mean it was the largest in the world. I mean, it was the biggest bead and button show in the world, and it was huge. I mean, I'd go through there, and I'd be like on overload after about going through half the place. So, but it's gone
Smoke coming
permanently.
out of the ears, the
Pretty
brain.
much, it was like I'd go with this, you know,
Overstimulus,
I I'd
overstimulus.
go with my wad of cash in my hand, and I'd like walk around with,
Take my money.
what am I gonna buy? What am I gonna buy? And then at the end of the day, I'd still have most of my
Look at
wad of
all the
cash.
puppy dogs out there.
Yeah, I'd have most of my wad of my cash in my hand. I'd be go, I don't know what to buy. I'm like so
Some,
overwhelmed.
someone help me spend this.
Yes, yes. So and I know you had some faves that you usually do every year.
Yes, hippie toms. I do love to sneak a peek over and see. It's the
I know
same.
you
It's the
love your
same
hippie
stuff,
times.
but you still see something new every time.
Well, of course you do. And Dave, again, that ties into your estate sales, your antiquing, all of
Right.
that. Yep, yep.
Yeah, outdoor music. It's nice to see the shows starting to come around again.
Yeah, yeah.
Planning some of those the night the Wednesday night things and shows. So that's nice. And then Summerfest
Yeah.
finally settled down to 3 weekend nights or whatever nights and weekends. So there were a couple I did see some of them. I'm more interested in a couple nights than Chrissy is in some of them. But like with the Guffs and everything coming this year, and like I said, we get some throwback, which is fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Summerfest, you got to give it to them. They are one of the biggest festivals in the world. And, I
And
guess,
folks, anybody says it's too expensive, you've never been to one of these then. The only reason it's too expensive is because you actually hadn't the money to go to this one once and thought it was too expensive. But if you go to any other one of these things out of this state or even a different town, it's $100 a day, folks, to go in to see these kind
Yeah.
of bands.
And what I
It's a
don't even
hundred
know
bucks
what
a
it costs
day.
to get into Summerfest anymore.
$23.
Oh wow, you got to be kidding me.
That's
$23,
nope, nope.
and you can just wander around and see whatever you want.
And that is the retail price. So if you want to get a 3-day pass, it's under $20 a day. 3-day pass, you should get one of those. And if you want to get the 9-day, it's only 100. So
That's a steal.
it is. I don't. You people out there.
I tell ya. I tell ya. So that's our 50th. Can you believe it? Holy
Halfway
crap.
there to 100.
Yeah, we are halfway there to 100. And we'll get to 100. We will. So I will end with our Pearls of Wisdom, which is one of our newest
So
segments.
25, that's 50 weeks. That's
No, 25
another 50 shows though
is 2 years.
would be 100 weeks.
Yeah.
And that
Because we're
would
doing
be
every other week. Yeah.
right. So we're talking about 2 more years.
2 more years to get. Well,
Two
unless
more
we
years.
do it more frequently, we'll see. But so
Two more years.
my pearls of wisdom come from Proust. Remembrance of things
Roast.
past. Proust. Remembrance of things past is not necessarily remembrance of things as they were.
Oh, that's for sure.
So we might
Rose
be
colored glasses.
we might be misremembering some things, and so we apologize.
Oh, yes.
But yeah. So anyway, anything else you want to add, Dave? Before I
No, thanks a lot, folks.
Yeah,
For the
so
20 of you that have been with us for the 50 shows.
yeah, for anybody who's watched us, we really appreciate it. As always, we'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners. Dave's mom from the beginning, Pat, my neighbor, who's no longer going to be my neighbor, just my friend, which we still love you, Pat. We have
Shadesy.
Shadesy. Oh, you burned Shadesy so bad. Chrissy, Marianne, anybody else, Dave?
Nope. Guys at work. That's about it.
Okay, yeah. Anybody at work who's watched me? Oh wait, Dave's showing us Yakon.
This is Roger's your cone again.
Yep.
Roger's
So-
your cone.
If you like what you're hearing, please tell 2 people so they can tell 2 people so they can tell 2 people so that we can become internet famous. Because as you see, after 50 episodes, what do we have? 20 listeners.
Yes, that got big. That was a big one. Double from the week before.
Yeah. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, hip.or.critical. Visit our Facebook page, MoKE Milwaukee, or you can tweet me down at. Oh, and I didn't put my underscore. There's supposed to be an underscore. Let's see. Where's my finger? Underscore right around there. Between the Alexa and MKE. So anyway, we love you, everybody. And we'll see you later. Peace out. Yay. Stay safe, Milwaukee.